So here's a fun way to have really yummy meatloaf on hand at all times. It'll please the toddlers in your house and the kid at heart in mom and dad. Let me show you how we make it. So on top of this recipe being super yummy, cooking them in the muffin tin gives us a huge advantage for our weekly meals with freezing them and thawing them really quickly. So let's get our dry mix together, and we're gonna start with the breadcrumbs and the soup mix. And I'm choosing to use soup mix because it adds so much yummy flavor and it's just really fast. So I'm going to get those two things soaked in our milk and just set the bowl aside for a couple of minutes while we prep our muffin tin. Now again, that's what this recipe is all about, right? We're using this recipe to portion control perfectly for those toddlers that you're feeding constantly, and they freeze really well. So let's hit our muffin tin with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray and then get our meatloaf mixed. So now that we've let the breadcrumbs and the soup mix really marry together with the milk, all we're gonna do now is add in our ground beef. And a little tip for mixing your meatloaf, use your hands. Get your hands in there and use your fingertips really lightly. We don't wanna mush everything together, but we just kinda wanna fluff it up. So think light and fluffy when you're mixing your meatloaf. One of my tips for getting consistency among your mini loaves is using a portion scoop. This ensures that every mini loaf will be the same size, which will ensure even cooking and even freezing for later. So right before I take these to the oven, I'm just using the palm of my hand to lightly press on each one. It's gonna help make sure everything cooks evenly. So while our mini loaves are in the oven, let's get this gravy made. Now, this is a really simple and traditional gravy to go with our meatloaf. I start by simmering my broth in a saucepan, and I add a little bit of mustard for some tang, ketchup for some sweetness, and then the Worcestershire, which adds a whole nother layer of flavor. And then the secret to thickening our gravy is a little bit of a slurry. So that just means using water and cornstarch, mixing it until it's completely combined, and adding it into our simmering gravy. And as you let your gravy simmer on the stove, you'll see it thicken to the perfect consistency, and there you go, you're done. And look how cute these are. This also ensures that everybody gets a really nice crispy edge to their meatloaf, and everybody loves that, right? The best way to win my toddler over on mini meatloaf night is to ensure that there's mashed potatoes on that plate and a little bit of his favorite green vegetable. If you have a kid that doesn't like the sauce, you don't have to add the sauce. A little bit of green veg on the side. Look at that, it's so cute. My husband and I will probably eat 2 or 3 of them, but that's how this works. It's a really great family recipe. So with the leftovers, whatever we don't eat tonight, I'll just throw in a Ziploc bag, throw in the freezer, and pull them out throughout the week as we need them. Thanks for joining us today in the Test Kitchen. I know you and your family will love this recipe. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time here in the Test Kitchen.